Everyone knows this is an elite defensive tackle class, one of the best we've ever seen. But after Mason Graham, it's a question who's number 2. Derrick Harmon is elite and in that conversation with KennethGrant and WalterNolen. And in my video comparing WalterNolen and KennethGrant, I didn't even mention him. So I felt I had to right my wrongs. This video will primarily focus on Harmon because I've already talked about Nolen and Grant, and you should watch that video after this one. Harmon has great size and speed for an NFL defensive tackle, sitting at 6'5", 315 pounds, with a sub-5 second 40. He had the same 40 time as WalterNolen, despite being 20 pounds heavier and quite visibly stronger. He has long, thick arms which generate power, and combined with his great upper body strength, he can gain control over the block. If any of the 3 defensive tackles I mentioned was going to be a 3-down defensive tackle year 1, I'd bet my money it's going to be Derrick Harmon. He's both an amazing run and pass defender, consistently taking on blocks with a wide base and good pad level that makes him difficult to toss on the floor, which happened with WalterNolen so many times. He can take double teams and still not give up his gap, and in pass rush, he has a beautiful rip move that he used to destroy UCLA's offensive line. His run blocking is also great, but man, that rip move alone might be the best single defensive lineman move in this NFL draft. His rip move is so elite because offensive linemen have to be horrified by his absolutely fantastic bull rush. That bull rush alone killed Washington's offense because they just couldn't pass on Oregon. You might think a 6'5" defensive tackle would struggle getting under guards' pads, but I'll happily tell you that's wrong. He consistently gets under his opponent's pad and drives them backwards. And that 4.95 40-yard dash is evident in his game. He has an elite first step to explode through gaps and penetrate into the backfield. Harmon is also an incredibly smart player. He can often diagnose pass protection before it happens and beat the offensive lineman to their spot. All those elite pass rush moves aren't just visible in film, you see it in the stats too. Harmon led the FBS in defensive tackle pressures, getting 34, which is absurd. This also wasn't just because he was on the field more than anyone else, because he had the second highest pressure rate of any defensive tackle at 10.7%. You could argue the reason his pass rush win rate was so much higher was because Oregon was just significantly better than every other team they faced. Except to be honest with you, I wouldn't say that's 100% true. Yes, Derrick Harmon got help like every other prospect in this draft, from Jordan Birch and the phenom freshman Mateo Uiagalelei. But even when those two got shut out, you could expect Harmon to make a play. Harmon did also benefit from having one of the best defensive minds coaching him, but every team in the NFL besides the Steelers should also have an elite defensive mastermind. That's a joke, by the way. The Steelers consistently have an elite defense. People are just overreacting to a 5-game slump when we simply didn't have a startable corner. Like, rewatch the Kansas City game, just look at our corners. Cam Sutton was actively playing against us. To get back on WalterNolen, he obviously had an elite combine with all his measurables, but from what I'm hearing, he did even better in the interviews. Teams draft culture guys. You don't want a locker room cancer to be killing your team from the inside, and reports are coming out that WalterNolen is a locker room cancer. This isn't even new news on Nolen, because in high school, WalterNolen switched schools 5 times and transferred from A&M to Ole Miss. I don't like ragging on people for transferring schools because we don't know the full story, but transferring from school 5 times, that's just inexcusable. When you draft someone, you want someone who's going to be committed to your team through thick and thin, and you can't say no one won't just request a trade after your first losing season. Now, let's get into why he isn't everyone's defensive tackle too, because his game does have quite a few noticeable flaws. The biggest one is definitely his tackling. Harmon simply can't wrap up. So many times will you see this guy make a beautiful play just for it to be ruined because he missed a wide open tackle. Hopefully, that's something that can be ironed out in the NFL, and I'd rather have someone disrupt the play and blow it up consistently than tackle consistently. Also, as a taller defensive tackle, Harmon does get caught with high pad level quite a bit, which can get him pushed back and thrown out of plays. But even when the offensive lineman doesn't throw Harmon out of plays, his own aggressiveness can. Many times, he'll get over-aggressive chasing the quarterback and run himself out of a play. Despite these flaws, I think Harmon is an elite talent. From how I see it, he should easily be a day one pick, and if any team can pick this guy up in the second round, they'd be winning the draft immediately. If you've already made it this far, please like and subscribe and comment any feedback. I really tried to pronounce the names correctly in this video because I know a lot of people got annoyed with the fact that I just can't speak English in the last video, but I appreciate any feedback and thanks to anyone who commented on that video. To get into his NFL Pro comp, I think Harmon could be someone like the Titans' Jeffrey Simmons in the pro level. Both athletes have great size at 6'4", 310, and they use that size with great effect in their bull rush. Simmons and Harmon are some of the few defensive tackles who are truly equally as great in run stopping and pass rushing, meaning almost any team will have a place for Harmon. To round it off, both these guys are also pressure machines who any NFL team would want playing all three downs. I keep on saying any NFL team, but who are the teams that can actually draft him? With the Steelers trading for DK Metcalf and Cam Hayward not getting any younger, I think it's pretty clear defensive tackle will be the Steelers' number one target in this draft. The Steelers also don't have an awful pass rush or run defense, so jack of all trades guy like Derrick Harmon would fit into their system great. With the Niners' release of Javon Hargrave, they really need someone to help inside in their 4-3 system. I think Harmon would thrive in that. This isn't to say he can't play in a 3-4, because he would very comfortably slide into the nose or defensive end role in a 3-4. But in college, he played in a 4-3, and we know that he thrives in a 4-3. So the Niners could be a sneaky destination. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.